The massive doors of the Galactic Council chamber opened with a soft hiss. Admiral Do-1 of Earth's Defense Force stepped inside, his black uniform standing out among the colorful robes of the alien representatives. The room fell silent. Even the floating light beings from the Centauri systems stopped their usual gentle humming. Do-1 kept his face calm, though his mind raced. An emergency summons to the council was rare. Even rarer was the fear he saw in the alien representatives' eyes. All 6 pairs of them, in some cases. Admiral Do-1, the council leader, spoke, her crystalline form shimmering under the chamber's lights. "We thank you for coming so quickly. The trip from Earth took 3 days," Do-1 said simply, "even with our fastest ships." A murmur ran through the chamber. The council leader's crystal surface flickered, their species' version of discomfort. Everyone knew human ships were now among the fastest in known space. It hadn't always been that way. "Yes, well," the leader continued, "we face a crisis. 3 of our most powerful member species are on the brink of war. The Stellar Alliance, the Ring Confederation, and the Deep Space Coalition all claim rights to the same cluster of resource-rich systems." Do-1 nodded. He had read the reports. "And how does this concern Earth?" An older alien representative stood up. His scales were gray with age. "Admiral, we ask, no, we beg, that humanity stay out of this conflict." The word hung in the air. Do-1 raised an eyebrow. "Earth has not chosen a side." "That is precisely what we wish to ensure," the leader said. "You see, we remember what happened 12 years ago. The Krath invasion of your colonies." Do-1's jaw tightened. Everyone in the room knew that story. The Krath, a warrior species, had attacked Earth's outer colonies, thinking humans would be easy prey. They had been wrong. The leader continued, "Your species was new to space travel. The Krath had been fighting wars for 10,000 years. They had better ships, better weapons, more experience. And yet we won," Do-1 finished. "Is that why you called me here? To remind me of old battles?" "No," another representative spoke up. This one had tentacles and spoke through a translator. "We called you here because we are afraid. Not of you, exactly, but of what will happen if humanity joins this war on any side." Images flashed through Do-1's mind. The clever tactics his people had used against the Krath. The way humans had turned their own technology against them. The innovations born of desperate need. The determination that had surprised everyone, including themselves. The 3 powers about to go to war, the leader said, they are like the Krath. Old, set in their ways. They fight as they have always fought. But humans, she paused. Humans are different. You adapt. You change tactics. You think in ways that terrify us. Do-1 looked around the chamber. He saw genuine fear in their faces. Fear not of human weapons or ships, but of human unpredictability, of human creativity. "What you're saying," he spoke slowly, "is that you believe whoever has humanity on their side will win." "No," the leader corrected. "We're saying that if humanity joins this fight, the very nature of warfare in our galaxy will change forever. And none of us are ready for that." Do-1 stood in silence for a moment. He thought of the reports waiting on his desk back on Earth, of the refugee ships already fleeing the disputed systems, of the weapons being prepared by all sides. "I will take your concerns to Earth's government," he said finally. "But I should warn you. Asking humans to stay out of a fight is often the surest way to get our attention." As he turned to leave, Do-1 heard the leader's crystalline voice one last time. "That, Admiral, is exactly what we're afraid of." The massive doors closed behind him with the same soft hiss, leaving the council chamber in uneasy silence. They had made their plea. Now they could only wait to see if humanity would listen, or if their worst fears would come true. Captain Sunmay stood at the bridge of the Earth Defense Force flagship, indomitable, watching the holographic display of the disputed star systems. Red dots marked areas of growing conflict, and there were many of them. Captain, called Intelligence Officer Hangill from his station. You need to see this. Sunmai walked over to his screen, her boots making soft sounds on the metal floor. The display showed energy readings from a distant planet. The numbers were unlike anything she had seen before. What am I looking at? She asked. Hangill pointed to the spikes in the data. These readings appeared 3 days ago. Whatever this is, it's old. Really old. And it's waking up. Sunmai frowned. Show me the location. The main screen lit up with a map. The energy readings came from a planet right in the middle of the disputed territory. It sat at a perfect spot for controlling trade routes between all 3 warring factions. Have the aliens detected this? Sunmai asked. No, Hangill said. We only caught it because of the new sensors Dr. Jaiho installed last month. The ones that can detect quantum fluctuations. The bridge crew worked quietly at their stations, but Sunmai could feel their tension. They all knew what it meant to find something the other species had missed. It meant decisions would have to be made. A message alert flashed on the main screen. It was from Earth Command, marked urgent. Sunmai opened it and saw Admiral Du-Won's face. Captain, he said, looking tired. I just left an interesting meeting with the Galactic Council. They've officially asked humanity to stay out of the coming conflict. Sunmai shared a look with Hangill. Sir, we found something they should know about. She sent the energy readings to Earth. Du-Won studied them for a long moment. Ancient weapons. We think so, Hangill spoke up. The pattern matches stories from the last war, when the Krath tried to use old technology they didn't understand. But these readings are much stronger. Du-Won rubbed his temples. The Council is afraid of us, Captain. They think if humanity joins the fight, we'll change the way wars are fought forever. And now we find this. What are our orders, sir? Sunmai asked. For now, observe only. Earth's government is debating our response. But Du-Won paused. Keep scanning. If there are more of these ancient weapons out there, we need to know. After the Admiral's image disappeared, Sunmai turned to her crew. Hangill, I want continuous scans of all disputed systems. If there are more energy signatures like this, find them. Yes, Captain, Hangill nodded. But what if the other species start their war before we decide what to do? Sunmai looked back at the holographic display. The red dots were spreading. Then we'd better work fast. Just then, another alert sounded. A young crew member called out, Captain, we're picking up distress signals from a civilian research station. It's under attack. The holographic display zoomed in on a small station caught between 2 warring fleets. Hundreds of civilians were trapped inside. How long until the nearest alien rescue ships arrive? Sunmai asked. 4 hours, minimum, Hangill reported. Sunmai straightened her uniform. The Council had asked humanity to stay out of the fight. But this wasn't a fight. It was a rescue mission. And if they happened to gather more data about those energy readings while saving lives, well, plot a course to the station, she ordered. And send word to Earth Command that we're responding to a humanitarian crisis. As the Indomitable's engines powered up, Sunmai watched her crew prepare for action. The aliens might fear humanity's way of fighting, but they had never truly understood humanity's way of helping either. The massive ship turned toward the distant station, its new sensors already gathering data about what waited in the darkness of space. Whatever the aliens feared about humanity, Sunmai knew one thing. Sometimes the best way to prevent a war was to show everyone a better way to solve problems. The Indomitable accelerated to full speed, carrying its human crew toward another chance to show the galaxy why Earth was different, whether the aliens liked it or not. Dr. Jaiho's hands moved quickly over the research station's controls. Warning lights flashed all around him as another blast rocked the station. Through the viewport, he could see 2 alien fleets firing at each other. His station was caught in the middle. Everyone to the central chamber, he shouted to his team. Move. The research station held over 300 people, scientists from 12 different species, None of them had expected to be caught in the start of a war. As his team ran, Jai-Ho grabbed the data cores. They contained 3 years of research about strange energy signals in this sector. He couldn't let that work be destroyed. The station shook again. A voice came over the emergency channel. "This is the Ring Confederation fleet. You are in a military engagement zone. Evacuate immediately." Another voice cut in. "This is the Stellar Alliance. The Confederation started this attack. We claim this sector." Jai-Ho reached the central chamber where people huddled in fear. Some had extra arms, others had scales or feathers, but they all shared the same scared look. He checked his emergency beacon again. Still no response from any nearby ships. "Dr. Jai-Ho." One of his assistants pointed at a screen. "Look." A new ship had appeared on their sensors. It was massive, and it was moving faster than any ship he had ever seen. The design was unmistakable, human. The station's comm system crackled. "Research Station Delta, this is Captain Sun Wei of the Earth Defense Force ship Indomitable. Hold your position. We are coming to help." A wave of relief swept through the chamber. Jai-Ho had worked with humans before. They might be new to space travel, but they were very good at saving people. The Indomitable moved between the station and the fighting fleets. Its shields flared as it absorbed stray shots. Smaller rescue ships launched from its sides, heading toward the station. "This is a civilian research station," Captain Sunmi's voice broadcast on all channels. "We are conducting an emergency evacuation. Any ship that interferes will be considered hostile to Earth." The fighting didn't stop completely, but both alien fleets moved their battle away from the station. Nobody wanted to risk being hostile to Earth. As the rescue ships docked, Jai-Ho noticed something strange on his sensors. The energy readings they had been studying were getting stronger. Much stronger. The first group of humans entered the station in their advanced rescue suits. They moved quickly and calmly, helping people toward the rescue ships. Jai-Ho grabbed one of them. "Wait, I need to show you something," he said, holding up his data core. "These energy readings, they started rising when the fighting began." The rescue worker called someone on their comm. Soon, Intelligence Officer Han Gil's voice came through. "Dr. Jai-Ho, this is the Indomitable. Tell me about these readings." As the evacuation continued, Jai-Ho explained his research. The strange energy signatures matched no known technology. They seemed to react to violence and weapons fire, and they were growing stronger by the minute. "It's like they're waking up," Jai-Ho said. "Like the fighting is triggering something old, something that was left here long ago." The last civilians boarded the rescue ships. Captain Sunmi's voice returned. "Dr. Jai-Ho, we're bringing you to the Indomitable. We need to know more about what's happening here." As they pulled away from the station, Jai-Ho watched the alien fleets continue their battle in the distance. Neither side seemed to notice or care about the ancient energy signals growing stronger beneath them. The Indomitable's sensors were more powerful than anything on his research station. Maybe with human help, he could finally understand what was hidden in this sector. He just hoped they would figure it out before the growing war triggered something they couldn't control. Behind them, the empty research station drifted in space, its warning lights still flashing silently in the darkness. The first spark of war had been lit, and now no one knew how far the fire would spread. In the Indomitable's main science lab, Dr. Jai-Ho stared at the holographic display with wide eyes. The ship's advanced sensors showed something his research station had never detected. A vast network of ancient machinery hidden beneath the surfaces of dozens of planets. "It's all connected," he said, pointing to the glowing lines between worlds. "These aren't just weapons. They're all part of one big system." Intelligence Officer Han Gil nodded, his fingers moving across the control panel. "And they're all waking up. Every time the alien fleets fight, more of the system activates." Captain Sunmei walked into the lab, looking tired. She had spent 6 hours coordinating with Earth Command about the refugee situation. "Tell me you have good news," she said. "Not exactly," Jai-Ho replied. He touched the display, zooming in on one planet. We found out what happened to the civilization that built these weapons. They died trying to use them. The room grew quiet. Gill pulled up more data on the screen. The weapons were supposed to be a last resort, a way to end all wars by making them impossible to fight. But something went wrong. How do you know all this? Sunmai asked. Jaiho held up a small data crystal. We found their records in the ruins on Sector 7. The ship's computer helped us translate them. The beings who built these weapons, they thought they could control the power they found. They couldn't. A red alert flashed on the main screen. Gill rushed to check it. Captain, the Deep Space Coalition fleet just entered the sector. They're heading straight for one of the weapon sites. Sunmi moved to the command console. They don't know what they're walking into. How long until they reach the site? 2 hours, Gill said. And the Ring Confederation ships are moving to intercept them. Jaiho looked at the sensor readings again. If they start a battle there, the energy surge could activate that whole section of the weapon network. We don't know what will happen. Sunmai pressed the ship-wide comm button. All hands to battle stations. This is not a drill. She turned to Jaiho. Doctor, you have 2 hours to figure out how to shut these weapons down. Captain, Gill spoke up. The Galactic Council ordered us to stay out of this fight. This isn't about the fight anymore, Sunmai said. This is about stopping something that could kill billions. She opened a channel to Earth Command. Admiral Du-1 needs to see this data now. As the Indomitable's crew prepared for action, Jaiho worked faster than he ever had before. The ancient texts were complex, but with the help of the ship's computers, he began to understand more. The weapons were never meant to be weapons, he said suddenly. They were meant to be shields, to protect life, not destroy it. But the civilization that found them later, they tried to change them. That's what went wrong. Gill looked up from his station. Captain, the Coalition fleet just fired on the Confederation ships. The energy readings are spiking. On the main screen, they watched as strange lights began to appear around the nearby planets. The ancient machinery was powering up, responding to the violence above. Dr. Jaiho, Sunmai said firmly, find a way to shut it down. Gill, get me a secure channel to both fleet commanders. And someone wake up Admiral Du-1 if he's not already up. She looked at the growing lights on the screen. Humanity had been asked to stay out of this war, but now they were the only ones who knew the real danger. The aliens feared how humans fought wars. Now they would see how humans prevented them. Send a message to all Earth ships in range, Sunmai ordered. Tell them to converge on our position. We're going to need help to fix this mess. The ancient weapons continued to power up, their lights growing brighter. The fate of several civilizations now rested on humanity's ability to solve a problem that had already destroyed one advanced species. They had 2 hours to succeed where an ancient civilization had failed. Gill sat alone in his small office aboard the Indomitable, staring at his screen in disbelief. He had been digging through Galactic Council communications for hours, looking for any information about the ancient weapons. Instead, he found something much worse. Captain Sunmai, he called through the ship's comm. You need to see this. Now. When Sunmai arrived, Gill showed her the secret files he had decoded. The council knew, he said, his voice tight with anger. They knew about the weapons all along. Sunmai read quickly through the documents. Her face grew darker with each line. They didn't just know. They had a plan, a protocol. The secret protocol was clear. Keep humanity away from the ancient weapons at all costs. The council believed humans were too creative, too adaptable. If they learned about the weapons, they might find a way to use them that no one had thought of before. That's why they asked us to stay out of the fight, Sunmai said. They weren't afraid of us joining the war. They were afraid we'd find this. A message flashed on the screen. Admiral Du-1 was calling from Earth. His image appeared, looking grim. Captain, we have a situation. Ambassador Taeyang just walked out of the council chamber. "Sir, we know about the protocol," Sun Mai said. "Han Gil found it." Do Won nodded. The ambassador discovered it too. Right in the middle of peace talks. The aliens aren't happy that we know. Han Gil pulled up more data. "Sir, it gets worse. The three factions fighting right now, they're not really fighting over resources. They're fighting to get control of the weapons. Each side thinks they can master them." On another screen, Dr. Jaiho's latest readings showed more of the ancient system activating. The lights were spreading to new planets every hour. "What are our orders, sir?" Sun Mai asked. "Earth's government is split," Do Won said. "Half want to pull back, let the aliens deal with their own mess. The other half," he paused, "the other half think this is exactly why humanity needs to be involved." Suddenly, alarms blared through the ship. Han Gil rushed to check the sensors. "Captain, one of the weapon sites just went fully active. The Ring Confederation fleet. They're trying to access the control systems." The main screen showed a massive energy surge on a nearby planet. Strange lights shot into space, forming patterns no one had seen before. "They'll destroy themselves." Dr. Jaiho's voice came through the comm. "The weapons can't be controlled that way. They respond to intent, not force." Sun Mi made a quick decision. "Han Gil, send everything we found to Earth Command. The protocol, the weapon data, all of it. Admiral, we need to decide now. If we don't stop this, there won't be much of a galaxy left to protect." Do Won was quiet for a moment. The Council wanted humanity to stay out because they thought we'd change everything. Maybe that's exactly what needs to happen. "Sir?" Sun Mai asked. "Captain, you have new orders," Do Won said firmly. "Stop those weapons from activating. Save as many lives as you can, and show the galaxy why they should have asked for our help instead of fearing it." Han Gil looked at his captain. "The Council will say we're violating their protocol." "The Council lie to everyone," Sun Mai replied. "Besides, they forgot something important about humans. Telling us we can't do something usually makes us try harder." She opened the ship-wide comm. "All hands, this is the captain. The Galactic Council tried to keep humanity away from a problem they couldn't solve. Now we're going to solve it anyway. That's what humans do." The Indomitable's engines powered up as more alarm signals flashed across the screens. They had to move fast. The weapon sites were activating one by one, and the alien fleets were too busy fighting to see the real danger. Han Gil sent the last of the files to Earth. The truth was out now. The galaxy would soon learn that keeping humanity in the dark had been the Council's biggest mistake. The Indomitable's bridge was filled with urgent voices as reports came in from all sectors. 3 more refugee ships had arrived, crowded with civilians fleeing the expanding war zone. Captain Sun Mai watched as another ancient weapon site lit up on the main screen. "That's the 5th one today," Han Gil reported from his station. "The Ring Confederation is trying to activate them all at once." Dr. Jaiho rushed onto the bridge, holding a datapad. "Captain, I found something in the ancient records. These weapons, they're all connected to a central control point. If one side takes control of it, they could activate the entire network." Sun Mi finished. She turned to her communications officer. "Get me Admiral Do Won." The Admiral's image appeared quickly. Behind him, they could see Earth's emergency command center buzzing with activity. "Captain, I assume you've seen the latest." "Yes, sir. The Stellar Alliance just lost an entire fleet trying to claim the weapons in Sector 4. The Deep Space Coalition is moving in to take advantage." Do Won's face was grim. Earth's parliament just finished voting. It was close, but they've made their decision. We're going to intervene. A new alert flashed on the main screen. Han Gil's voice was tense. "Captain, the Coalition fleet just fired on a civilian transport. 3,000 people on board. Move us to intercept," Sun Mai ordered. The Indomitable's engines roared to life. "Admiral, we need to act now." Dr. Jiho thinks he's found the key to the whole weapon system. Jiho stepped forward. The ancient civilization built these weapons with a fail-safe. They're meant to protect life, not destroy it. But the aliens are trying to use them the wrong way. If they keep forcing them to activate, another explosion lit up space behind them. The coalition ships were firing on more civilian vessels, trying to clear the sector for their advance. Launch rescue ships, Sun Mai commanded. Get those people out of there. She turned back to Do-Won. Sir, what are our orders? Humanity is officially entering this conflict, Do-Won said, but not to fight. Our mission is to protect civilian lives and prevent the weapons from being activated. The Earth Defense Fleet is mobilizing now. Han Gil looked up from his station. Sir, the Galactic Council is demanding we withdraw. They say we're violating their protocol. Tell them we're violating their protocol to fix their mistake, Sun Mai said. She pressed the ship-wide comm button. All hands, this is your captain. Earth has chosen to intervene. Our priority is saving lives and stopping these weapons from destroying everything. That's what we do. That's who we are. The Indomitable moved between the coalition fleet and the civilian ships. Its advanced shields glowed as they absorbed weapons fire. More Earth ships were appearing on the sensors, racing to help. Dr. Jiho, Sun Mai called. You said the weapons respond to intent. What exactly does that mean? Jiho worked quickly at a science station. The civilization that built them. They made the weapons to recognize the difference between protecting and destroying. That's why they're malfunctioning now. The aliens are trying to use them to destroy, but they were made to protect. And that's why they killed their creators, Han Gil added, because they tried to change their purpose. Sun Mai watched as more coalition ships arrived. Behind them, the ancient weapon sites pulsed with dangerous energy. They had to find a way to shut them down before the aliens triggered something they couldn't stop. Send word to all Earth ships, she ordered. Tell them to form a barrier between the civilian zones and the fighting, and get me a direct line to the coalition commander. Let's show them why the Council was so afraid of how humans handle a crisis. The galaxy was about to learn that there was something far more powerful than weapons, something the Council had feared more than anything else. Humanity's ability to find a better way. Admiral Do-Won stood before Earth's Emergency Council, his uniform neat despite having been awake for 2 days straight. The room was packed with world leaders, all watching the massive screen showing the spreading chaos in space. The situation is getting worse, Do-Won said. The alien fleets are still fighting. Each side thinks they can control the ancient weapons. They're wrong. He showed them the latest data from the Indomitable. Strange energy waves now connected dozens of planets, growing stronger every hour. The ancient weapons were awakening faster than ever. If these weapons fully activate, he continued, they won't just destroy the fighting ships. They'll trigger a chain reaction through the entire sector. Billions will die. One of the council members spoke up. The Galactic Council ordered us to stay out of this. If we intervene, we risk war with everyone. We risk that anyway, Do-Won replied. But if we do nothing, there won't be much of a galaxy left to worry about. On another screen, Ambassador Tai Young appeared from her ship. She had been trying to negotiate with the 3 fighting factions. Admiral, it's no use. None of them will listen. They're too focused on gaining control of the weapons. How much time do we have? A council member asked. Dr. Jiho's face appeared on a third screen, transmitted from the Indomitable's science lab. Hours at most. The energy readings are off the charts. The weapons are reaching critical levels. Han Gil's voice came through next. Sir, we've detected massive fleet movements. All 3 factions are sending everything they have. They're starting what could be the final battle. The council room erupted in worried voices. Do-Won raised his hand for silence. We have a choice to make. Right now. Either we stay out of this fight like they asked, or we do what humans have always done. Find a way to fix what others say can't be fixed. How? Someone asked. We can't fight all of them at once. We don't have to fight them, Do-1 said. Captain Sunmei and Dr. Jiho have found something in the ancient records. The weapons weren't built to destroy. They were built to protect. We've been looking at this all wrong. He showed them Dr. Jiho's latest discovery, plans hidden in the ancient data that revealed the true purpose of the weapon network. The council members leaned forward, their eyes widening as they understood. This is why the council feared us, Do-1 explained. Not because of how we fight wars, but because we might find a solution they never considered. Ambassador Tai Young spoke again. The alien fleets are moving into position. Whatever we're going to do, we need to do it now. The council leader stood up. Admiral, if you're wrong about this, we risk everything. Earth's standing in the galaxy, our alliances, maybe even our survival. And if we do nothing, Do-1 replied, we risk even more. The galaxy needs our help, whether they know it or not. The council voted quickly. The decision was made. Do-1 immediately opened a channel to all Earth ships in the sector. This is Admiral Do-1. Earth has made its choice. We are moving to protect all life in the sector. Human, alien, everyone. Captain Sunmei, you have command of the operation. Show them what humanity can do. On the main screen, they watched as Earth ships began to move into position. The Indomitable led the way, its advanced sensors already working to interface with the ancient system. Sir, Hangil's voice came through one last time. The council is threatening sanctions if we proceed. Do-1 looked at the council members around him. They all nodded. Tell them we'd rather face sanctions than stand by and watch billions die. That's the human way. The ancient weapons pulsed with energy, waiting to see what humanity would choose to do with them. The galaxy was about to learn why asking humans to stay out of a problem was never the right answer. The Indomitable moved steadily through space, leading a fleet of Earth ships toward the ancient weapon sites. Captain Sunmei watched as the three alien fleets noticed their approach. All other fighting stopped as they tried to figure out what the humans were doing. All ships in position. Hangil reported from his station. Dr. Jiho's modifications are ready. Sunmei opened a channel to all ships in the sector, human and alien alike. This is Captain Sunmei of Earth. We've discovered the truth about these weapons. They weren't built for war. They were built to prevent it, and we're going to show you how. On the science deck, Dr. Jiho activated the special transmitters they had built. They would send out the same kind of energy signals that the ancient weapons responded to. But instead of trying to control the weapons, they would remind them of their true purpose. Transmitters active, Jiho reported. The weapons are receiving our signal. The huge alien fleets moved to surround the Earth ships. A coalition commander's voice boomed through the comm. Leave this sector immediately. These weapons belong to us. They don't belong to anyone, Sunmei replied calmly. They belong to life itself. Hangil, show them what we found. Hangil sent the ancient records to all ships. The data showed the truth. The weapons were actually part of a vast shield network designed to protect all living things in the galaxy. They weren't meant to be used by one side against another. They were meant to protect everyone. You're lying. A Stellar Alliance commander shouted. Our scientists studied these weapons for years. No, Dr. Jiho spoke up. You studied them wrong. Watch. He activated the main transmitter. The Indomitable began broadcasting a simple message to the ancient network, not in words, but in pure intention. The message was about protection, about saving lives, about finding a better way than war. The weapon sights began to glow with a different kind of light. The harsh red energy changed to a soft blue. The threatening pulses became gentle waves. What are you doing? The Ring Confederation leader demanded. We're reminding them what they were built for, Sunmei explained. These aren't weapons at all. They're shields. The civilization that built them wanted to protect all life in the galaxy, but they died before they could finish their work. On the main screen, They watched as the ancient network responded to the human transmission. Energy fields began to form between planets, not to destroy, but to connect, to protect. All Earth ships, Sun Mi ordered, begin rescue operations. Get every civilian to safety. The shields will protect them now. The alien commanders watched in shock as the human fleet split up, each ship moving to help those in danger. The ancient shields grew stronger, creating safe zones where no weapons could fire. "This is impossible," one alien leader said. "The Council said humans would change how wars are fought." "We did change it," Sun Mi replied. "We changed it by finding a way to stop it. That's what humans do best. We find solutions others can't see." Dr. Jaiho's voice was excited. "Captain, the network is fully responding. It's activating the way it was meant to. The shields are spreading through the whole sector." The alien fleets began to power down their weapons. They had no choice. The ancient shields made it impossible to continue fighting, but they also protected every ship, every station, every living being in range. Hangil smiled at his screen. "Message from Admiral Du-1, Captain. Earth's fleet is reporting the same results everywhere. The shields are working. We did it." Sun Mi looked at the peaceful blue lights spreading between the stars. The Council had been right about one thing. Humanity had changed everything. But not by fighting. By showing the galaxy a better way. "Send word to Earth," she ordered. "Tell them the intervention worked. And tell the Council that the next time they find something they don't understand, maybe they should ask for our help instead of fearing it." 1 month after the activation of the ancient shield network, Admiral Du-1 stood once again in the Galactic Council chamber. This time, he wasn't alone. Captain Sun Mi, Dr. Jaiho, and Intelligence Officer Hangil stood with him. The chamber was fuller than ever before, with representatives from every spacefaring species in attendance. The Council leader's crystal form flickered with mixed emotions as she spoke. "We have called this session to address humanity's intervention in the recent conflict." "You mean how we solved the problem you were afraid to let us try to fix?" Du-1 asked quietly. Several alien representatives shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The leader continued, "The shield network you activated has made traditional space warfare impossible in over 30% of known space. It continues to spread. That's what it was designed to do," Dr. Jaiho explained. "The ancient civilization wanted to protect all life, not just their own. The network grows to shield more systems as it encounters them." Hangil stepped forward with a data display. "We've translated more of their records. They called it the Life Shield. It was their gift to the future of the galaxy. They just didn't live to see it work properly." Sun Mi looked around the chamber. "The 3 factions that were fighting, where are their representatives today?" A different council member answered. "They are working out a peace agreement. It's hard to fight a war when your weapons won't work near populated systems." "Exactly," Du-1 said. "The Life Shield doesn't take sides. It protects everyone equally. That's what the builders intended. That's what humanity helped finish." The council leader's crystal surface rippled. "We must admit, we were wrong about humanity. We feared you would change how wars are fought. Instead, you found a way to prevent them entirely." Ambassador Taeyong entered the chamber, carrying new documents. "That's why I'm here today. Earth has a proposal for the Council." The aliens listened as Taeyong explained Earth's plan. Humanity would share their understanding of the Life Shield technology. They would help expand it to protect more systems. But in return, the Council had to change. "No more secret protocols," Taeyong said firmly. "No more hiding ancient technologies that could help people. We work together openly from now on." Dr. Jaiho showed them new data on the main screen. "The shield network isn't just protecting us from weapons. It's teaching us things. The builders left us their knowledge, their science, but it only works if we cooperate." Hangil added, "We've already learned more about space travel, energy generation, and medicine in 1 month than we did in the past 100 years. The council chambers filled with excited whispers. The leader raised her crystalline form to its full height. You offer to share all of this, even after we try to keep you away. That's what humans do, Sun Mai said simply. We don't hold grudges when we can build bridges instead. Do One stepped forward. You feared humanity would change the galaxy. You were right. But change doesn't have to be scary. Sometimes it's exactly what we all need. The council voted immediately. The result was unanimous. Humanity's proposal was accepted. The secret protocols were abolished. A new era of cooperation would begin. As they left the chamber, Hangil looked at his datapad. The life shield just activated in 3 more systems. It's learning, growing, protecting more people every day. Sun Mai smiled. And to think they wanted us to stay out of it completely. Well, Do One said, watching alien representatives gather around Dr. Joiho to learn more about the shield technology. Sometimes the best way to help is to ignore those who tell you not to try. Above them, through the council chamber's clear dome, they could see the soft blue light of the life shield shimmering in space. The ancient civilization's final gift was working exactly as intended, thanks to the one species everyone had feared would only make things worse. Humanity had changed the rules of war in the galaxy forever. They had changed them by making peace better than fighting. And that was the most human solution of all.